Hi, I'm Leanne Ely. I'm a nutritionist, a New York Times best-selling author, and some people even say I'm a life coach. I started the Daily Dish Show to share my story, my truth, and my journey to vibrancy, and to inspire others to do the same. Because it's all about grit, perseverance, and finding a way despite the odds. It's about embracing the whole woman, not just the parts that are easy to love, and feeding her heart, mind, body, and soul. But I found that this isn't just my story, it's your story too. It's go time. This is the Daily Dish. It is go time. It is the Daily Dish, and it is Wednesday. This is when the wise women hang out. Am I right, Catherine? Hello, Tanya. How is everyone doing? I hope you're doing well. I had a couple of shows that were recorded. I did that because, I don't want to miss out. I hope you feel the same way. I didn't want to miss out. And also I had a couple of other things going on, but you know what? I'm going to tell you what. Sometimes you do what you need to do so that you can do two things at the same time. That's pretty much what happened. Hello, Jackie. And there's my girl, Vanessa. Aren't you glad to be together? I am. Hi, Alice. Hot Melt 30. Who's Hot Melt 30ing here besides Alice? There's Tanya. She is, of course. There she is. Lizzie, my goodness, it's been a minute. I'm so glad to see you. Darla, you too. And there's our girl, Martha, in the house. And Amber's here, of course. Has anybody been getting, well, I hate to say this, but we have a little list of a few people who are just very regular customers of ours. And let me just say, we've been sending out some very cute emails to you. Nancy! Hello there. I've got my cheers. Here's to you. Paige is in the house. She's walking for us. She is walking for us. And Simply Blessed, that's Sandy. Say hi to Sandy as well. Anyway, so as you know, sometimes we just have to, we're all over the place. And we have sent out some of the cutest emails. I finally forwarded them all to Mark, and he was just falling on the floor. He said, who did all of these? I said, our Amber, of course. And he just loved them. So if you're a Lincoln fan and you're also on that list, you've been getting those emails. I know you've been loving them. So cheers. Here's to you. I'm also having some tea. And for everybody else, stay tuned because we're bringing Black Friday to you, okay? We are bringing Black Friday to you, and it's going to rock your world, okay? I promise you it's going to rock your world. And if you could see some of these orders that are coming through, whoa, they're big. And smartly so, because this is how you save big, okay? I'm just telling you how to do this. Nancy's been enjoying them. I'm so glad you've been enjoying them too. Laura, hello. Good to have you here. So Hot Melt 30 is really going well. I'm so pleased with everybody. Do you want to hear something? I'm going to tell you. I just put on a smaller pair of jeans, almost into those little tiny ones that are sitting there on my wall. Put on another. Your weight isn't as important as your measurements. Because my weight is the same, but then I got out that measuring tape, and don't you know, I lost 1.5 inches off my hips and 1.5 inches off my waist. New pair of jeans. So I'm glad Old Navy has reasonably priced jeans, otherwise I'd be in trouble. Jennifer, hello. Nancy, you will get carb cut. Just wait. Get your carb cutter. You know how to do that. So anyway, remember this, that and I'm just going to do a quick little lesson here just to kind of make my point. Okay, so here we go. What do I have here? What do I have sitting on my desk? All right, I've got a pencil. No, that's not a good one. Here we go. I got a supplement. Here we go. I got Vibrant Body Detox sitting on my desk. I've also got my earbuds sitting on my desk. These weigh the same. They weigh the same. This is fat. And this is muscle. See how much smaller muscle is? Muscle is more compact. Fat and muscle weigh the same. They take up different volume. That's the lesson. So while my weight might stay the same, that is not the be all end all. It doesn't tell the whole story. This is my body versus this was my body. Does that make sense to you? I just want to make sure, because when people say, well, fat weighs or muscle weighs more than fat or something like that, that's not the case. It's about volume. It's about volume. And I just want you to know that if you are experiencing, maybe your weight isn't shifting, your body composition might be shifting. That's what's happened to me. Because I was like, man, I've been the same weight for over 2 months. What's up? But my clothes aren't fitting. I need smaller and smaller clothes. So that's what's going on. And that happens from weight training, by the way. And a little bit of cardio isn't as important as. And for women our age, women of a certain age, I should say, we need a whole lot more protein. I will give you all the info on that. Okay? I will give you all the info on that. I have been working all morning on what you are going to see on December 26th for a brand new program that I am absolutely over the moon with. I have been researching this, and it's going to be phenomenal. So I'm just letting you know. I'm just letting you know. Jane knows. Yep. We all know about those things. So speaking of volume, Thanksgiving's coming. Thanksgiving is coming. Are you ready? Have you gotten your Thanksgiving menus? I sure hope so. They're free. Go to savingdinner.com/Thanksgiving. I don't care how you eat or the way you do it. I've got everything that you need. Your menus, your recipes, your shopping list, your style of eating too, because there's different ones there. The timeline, the troubleshooting guide, name that, even a decor guide. Because my whole thing is, I only like to go to one store, and I get all of my decor from the grocery store. You know, they got cute stuff there and stuff out of the yard. So you should see Carolina and I go to it. It's going to be really fun. So we're planning ours right now. Nancy, this program will rock your world. That's all I can say about it. But it's in this little book. This is my idea book. And I was writing about it all morning long. And boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. That's all. That is all. That's one thing. The other thing is, I had somebody asking me about skin again. Boy, you ask a lot of skin questions. Our skincare, what's your skincare? What do you recommend? This, that, and the other thing. And I pointed them directly to our workshop that we just did. And it's at savingdinner.com/gorgeous. Because in my estimation, you can have gorgeous skin any old time that you make a decision that you're going to. And listen, from somebody who came back from the ravages of pustular rosacea, which is the crusty kind, the kind that disfigures you and you don't want to leave the house, I feel like I have something to say about that. I've lived it. So anyway, savingdinner.com/gorgeous. Our quote of the week. It's a doozy. They always are, aren't they? Don't you love our quotes of the week? And by the way, you can use the quotes, and this is my idea book, but this is my journal for my journal dumping situation, you know, where you just let your brain go bonkers. But that's my journal. And in there, I take our weekly quotes and start the whole process. Start the whole process. We generate fears when we sit. We overcome them by action, says Dr. Henry Link. Come on. Naturally, don't we know that? Have you noticed that if you sit and hand wring, you're going to get exactly the stuff that you are putting out there into the world? Have you noticed that? As a matter of fact, we kind of co-create our own reality with what we put out there. We're going to talk about that right now today, because I got some stuff about being on a high vibe. Speaking of high vibe, there's Flynn. Hi, Flynn. And Maureen, good to have you here. Christina, I'm delighted you're here as well. Also known as Chris. I don't know. Christina today, maybe Chris tomorrow. I don't know. I kind of like Christina as well as Chris. Anyway, you know how it is. You know how all of this stuff is. And I just want to make sure, I just want to make sure that you always feel like I see you and that you know that I have your back, because what we're talking about today is stuff this is sisters holding hands. This isn't me lecturing you. This is sisters holding hands so that we can be a part of that community, so that you can feel the love and you can feel the connection. That's what community does. And when you have a good community, you really do feel a part of. You don't feel distant from it. Even if you live in Australia like our Maureen does, she doesn't feel distant. She's a part of. So cheers. Here's to all of that. Let's get down into business right here, because this stuff's going to rock your world. All right, I got a quote for you. Speaking of rocking your world, if you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. That is Nikola Tesla. And of course, you know who Nikola Tesla is, right? He had a lot of stuff going on. He had some stuff that was a little bit odd, and I still don't understand some of it. But he was really big on understanding that we're all about energy. Einstein picked that up also later on, and everything is run on the frequency of vibration, and it can be measured. It's not just, this is not something that just somebody pulled out of the air. It can be measured. And I've shared with you before the sand pictures that are created from vibration. And you can watch sand on a vibrating plate go from very low vibrations making a pattern to high vibrations making a very intricate pattern. And that shows you that the higher the vibration, the more the vibration is. And it's a beautiful thing to really sit there and to contemplate this and to take this and put it on everything. So one of the things that they do, honestly, for someone, and I know somebody who went through this, whose son was in an accident, they have a brain scan that they do, and they basically say that if your brain is, they consider you brain dead if you have the vibrational frequency of a brick, right? That's basically what they use. And bricks still have a frequency, but they, that's kind of sad and awful, but this is what I was told. I don't know if that's necessarily, this is what I was told. Anyway, so our vibration, there are vibrational charts for everything. It's all been measured. You can there's an instrument that they can put on it, and boom, they can measure how much vibe is there. Even your thoughts, even your food, everything has a vibration. And it's interesting as you look through these vibrational charts, and I think we've linked them up before. I would say I'll make sure that we link up those charts, or at least maybe we can put some of them on tomorrow's show notes. But I really want you to take a peek-see at this, because I think it's that critically important. Oh, I forgot to bring TikTok on, but I'm going to do it right now. Here we go. Sometimes you're a little late for the show. Anyway, we're talking about high vibration, and we're talking about Nikola Tesla. If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. And you can see vibrational frequencies in action with the vibrating sand on, on those plates. Isn't it the most beautiful thing that you've ever seen? And you will see the intricacy. The higher the vibe, the more intricate, the more expanded, the more beautiful they are. So keep that in mind. And to me, this high vibe stuff, this is the best practice for living, for raising your vibe and attracting in what it is that you want. Have you noticed that we get more of what we're thinking about? Have you noticed that? Have you noticed that we are seemingly magnets for stuff that maybe we don't want in our world, but that's the thing that we just can't stop thinking about? And that's the stuff that kind of drives you just a little bit crazy. So this is how we're created to operate in this world, by the way, is to be that attraction and that attractor. It's true. And we're like magnets. We bring in the things that we are thinking about, and our thoughts are just doing that and bringing that stuff in. It's incredible. So this also helps us get direction. Now follow me on all of this, because your brain is the hub for your body's, like just like the switching station at the electrical thingy. You know how they have those big switching stations? They do that so they can change frequencies. So that's where all the energy goes. Your brain is checking it out and bringing in the frequency and the vibration and the energy, whatever you want to call it. I know, like, when some people hear the word vibration, they're thinking, woo woo, it's just, that's too much for me. Okay, how about energy? It's all energy. We got low energy, we got high energy, but it's energy nonetheless. It is measured, it's scientific, it's fact, it doesn't go away, it's there. And we see this, it is measured, and we understand that this is the thing that's going to move the needle in our lives. Then we can start to make some peace with this whole vibe thing, and we can get into the place of raising our own vibration. So for me, Dr. Joe Dispenza is, to me, he's the ultimate vibe king. He is, if you've ever seen about it. Joe Dispenza, that's on my bucket list, by the way. I want to go to he has like a 5-day event. I want to go and get completely immersed. I want to just do that. It's kind of like a vibe revival. That's how I look at it. And he has done his work on that. Boy, you should hear him. He has a story about his daughter who wanted to go shopping. He said to his daughter, you can manifest what it is that you want. And his 17-year-old daughter, whatever, says, well, I would like this summer, my girlfriend and I, to have an all expense paid shopping trip to this one particular place. And his, dad's going, oh, like, couldn't we do something like, I want a pony or something like that? And so finally she said, no, this is what I want. And he goes, okay, here are your directions. This is what you're going to do. Every single day you're going to meditate. Every single day you're going to write out your affirmation. He had a whole thing that he had her do. And she was dead on. She did it exactly what he did. Then one day she's in the store shopping, and they announced on the speaker, and I don't remember the exact story. I should know the exact story to be able to tell it. They announced on the speaker that somebody had been in the store, and they had gifted this huge gift card, and for a woman, for somebody and a friend, and it happened to be her, and it was an endless shopping experience. So she got that. She got what it is that she wanted. So I find that to be absolutely fascinating. He even talked about a story about a woman in Washington who had this notion that it was $112 million that she was just going to win, like lottery style. And she thought about it, and she thought about all the joy that it would be. She put it in her meditation. She did a few things with it. Then she just let it go. She just put it out there into the universe and said, well, okay, then we're just going to let that go. Then one day she's in a, convenience store. She buys a lottery ticket, and guess what? She won $112 million. Now, there's a whole bunch of people who have probably done the very same thing and haven't done it. What is the difference? I want to talk about how we get there, but not just yet. Because I have a to-do list on what it is that we need to do to raise our vibration. And I'm not saying to anyone that we're going to go and buy lottery tickets and win, right? Yes, we were one of those people. We were in a big lottery pool here in where I live, and we all bought, put $5 in and to buy one of those $1 billion lottery tickets. Guess what? We didn't win. Even though I did have a little minute of visualization, what good things would I do? I would give you all supplements. That's what I would do. That would be one of my things. But anyway, we have to look at how it is, where we are on this whole vibrational plane when we feel off, when we feel just a little bit off. When we're focused on the wrong stuff, what do we feel? What do we feel like? We feel imbalanced. We feel out of sorts. Have you ever said, I feel out of sorts? I don't feel like myself. Is that ringing any bells? I've felt like that. And it's all based on low vibe stuff. We're fearful. We're doubtful. We don't believe. We dismiss. We put it off. That's all low vibe stuff. So David Bear, I've shared this with you. He's a friend of mine, and I went to, a couple of I did some work with him. His mantra is, and I have this written down, one of the things I've written down all over my office, I believe life is always working out for me on my behalf. And when we're saying like this, we're opening up the door of possibilities. And that's part of the whole idea of high vibe stuff, is opening up the door of possibilities. And what it is we're connecting to our higher selves, but we also understand too that our bodies have their own connections, right? Our bodies have our own connections. Think about this. What we're saying is we take this stuff and we project it out, but we also have our own connection. We have a heart-mind connection. Have you ever felt like your heart's in one place and your mind's in another? If you've been through a breakup, you know what I mean, right? You know, your heart is broken and your mind is saying, you know what? That's, you know, that guy is poison. I'm done with it. But your heart's going, oh, but I really want him back. You know? Yeah, but he's a schmuck. Look what he did to you, blah, blah, blah. So we have to understand that that heart-mind thing needs to be drilled down. It just does. That's the way things are. And we need to be aware of that. And that's part of what meditation does. It makes the connection. So we can shift into a higher vibe and better connection to heart and mind by this kind of a positive mantra. Because we're acknowledging, when we say we believe life is always working out on our behalves, we are acknowledging that our lives are out there in the world working themselves out. Sometimes there's going to be a high, sometimes there's going to be a low. There could be some bumps along the way. But life will work out on our behalf. And when we're doing that, we are triggering our reticular activating system to go look for it. Because it's there. Because it's there. Blue Blizzard, go away. Some bozo here on TikTok. Notification termination will be ensued if user does not end live video within 5 minutes. Fight me, right? Don't you just go away. Just go away. So we can shift into a higher vibe and a better connection to heart and mind by this kind of a positive mantra. Obviously, life is always working out on your behalf when you're leveraging your reticular activating system. Remember how your reticular activating system is. You know, you want a car, you start thinking about that car, and all of a sudden you see them all over the world, you know, all over the road. Is that a coincidence? Were they just suddenly popping up? No, you suddenly became aware of them. That's what your reticular activating system is. So out there in this world of choices of what we can and cannot have, we see a whole buffet of choices and we can choose well. That's all I'm saying, because it's not this magical, mystical, you know, pixie dust kind of an experience. It's the real deal, because that's how life is. There are always choices to be made. There's always decisions to be made. And guess what increases all of this dramatically to go high vibe, to get you into this zone of what it is that you want? We just talked about it. Gratitude. Gratitude is a big thing. It increases your receptivity, which in turn opens up your ability to accept this new information, right? You didn't see it before. But last week was that you weren't even aware of it. That's how that whole thing. So in other words, gratitude snuffs out the yeah buts, because we yeah but our way through a whole bunch of stuff in life, don't we? I do. You do. We all do. We do. Yeah, but that's not for me. That's for somebody else. Yeah, but that sounds a little bit kind of whatever. Yeah, that sounds a little new agey, so I'm just going to back away and just cut myself off from the fact that all of life is a vibration and energy. Chris just said this: life is a banquet and most poor suckers are starving to death. Auntie Mame. You know, Auntie Mame was right. She might be a fictional character. I don't know. Maybe she was based on someone, but it's true. So when we have a higher vibration, we have higher energy. When we have higher energy, we have greater receptivity. And we have greater receptivity. Guess what else we have? We have a changed mind, because suddenly the possibilities are endless. Possibility isn't even on the realm of thinking if you're in the low vibe thing, because you've cut yourself off from everything. But higher vibe, it's different. So when we purposely go about raising our vibe, we choose high vibe thoughts and things. So we become more creative or creative. Because how many times have you said, I'm just not creative? Well, guess what? You are. You're a human being, right? You are a human, and human beings are creative. That's just the way, that's the nature of who you are. That's how you were built. Accept that. And that doesn't mean that you have to be artsy craftsy or artistic or musical or anything like that. It just means that there is a creative ideas inside of you and that you have the ability to work things out that maybe need working out. You know, we don't have to delve into that whole list, but it's not in my talent stack. So what? Creativity is in everyone's talent stack. So that's what we need to do. We need to create a list, a to-do list of higher vibes and how to get there. You ready for it? I've got a list of, let me see how many things did I write down. 7 things. Good number. I like number 7. You ready? Let's go. And by the way, if you want the show notes, you can find them at savingdinner.com. Just go get the newsletter. You'll have it in your inbox tomorrow with all this stuff. Number 1 is appreciate and surround yourself with beauty and order. Beauty and order. When I put I always say at night, I'm putting the house to bed. And that's not just turning off the lights. It's fluffing the pillows on the couch. It's putting the remote away in the basket that's on the coffee table. It's having everything so that when I walk in to the kitchen and walk into my room, first thing when I come into get out of bed in the morning, I see beauty and order. I love my house. I love order. I love the calming effect that it has. I don't want to be greeted with a maelstrom of just chaos everywhere. Nobody does. That doesn't create peace for anyone. So what are you going to do with that? Go clean up after yourself, declutter, get rid of stuff, go outside, literally smell the flowers, and maybe take a nature walk. All of these things will up level your vibe. All of them. It's low vibe to be in the clutter zone. Get rid of it. It's low vibe to be in this place of darkness and whatever. Open the shades in your house. Let the sunshine in and get yourself outside. Okay? Number 2, high vibe food only. Again, back to the charts. Get back to the charts. There's charts that you can find. We'll have some charts tomorrow in the show notes. But here's the thing. On the food chart, blueberries, way the heck up there. Blueberries are one of the densest form of flavonoids and amazing for your gut health, for your brain health, for your heart health, for all the health, right? The berries are just way up there, but especially blueberries. High vibe, high vibe, high vibe, vibe. It's the color too, by the way. And then Big Macs, guess what Big Macs have for a vibe? Guess what their rating is? 0. It's dead food, right? So you got a Big Mac here, and then you've got way up here in the thousands, blueberries. Guess which one is going to feed your heart, mind, body, and soul? It's that. Number 3 is create vibration in your cells. Get this. This is bizarre, and it's so incredible, and it just shows you how vibration is cellular. It is a cellular level thing. When we take our hot melt mix and we mix it with a little fiber mender, we have created a kind of an electrolyte concoction that just penetrates and gets right into the cell. It's electrolytes and fiber. And what that does is it creates a vibration, and it creates the penetration that we're looking for. Without it, we don't get that. We don't get it in there. And you will see the difference in how you feel. It's just incredible. And, if you're not using our hot melt mix and our fiber mender, okay, but use some fiber and use some electrolytes and watch how different it makes you feel. It gets down into the cellular level. Number 4, meditation is better than medication. Any day, any day, any day. Darla, I don't know how much you're using right now, but what I will do is when I use fiber mender, and you can also use chia seeds. So this is just plain fiber mender. But what I will do is I will put like a quarter of a scoop of fiber mender. If you use too much, boy, oh boy, you won't like that, Blueberries are okay during the hot milk 30. Yeah, definitely. But just don't go crazy. Do a quarter of a cup. You don't need much, and do them plain if you want, or do them frozen, or do them in your smoothie. So all of that, just look at at that. And I've got more on fiber coming up. I'm going to do some class. I've got some classes scheduled for next year on, we're going to do some educational stuff. And I have some educational stuff coming up next week. Monday night, as a matter of fact. I'll tell you more about that tomorrow. Number 5 is gratitude will obliterate a bad attitude. Every single freaking time. You know why? You raise your vibe, and anger and gratitude cannot coexist. It doesn't match up vibrationally. And you can't feel both at the same time. It's like being angry and smiling at the same time. Well, that is a mask. That's not really true. You can't do that. You can't do it. Number 6, do kind things just because. Ask, how can I serve? And it doesn't mean that you have to go out and, change tires on the side of the road with strangers that might turn into psycho killers or work in soup kitchens or anything like that. We can serve in such tiny little ways every single day, by a word, by a kind look, by a pat on the arm, by a loving note to someone. Think in terms of that. We don't have to think in terms of great big impact. We have to think in terms of love. How can I be more loving? That's how we serve. Number 7 is move your vibrational self. These bodies are not meant to sit there in a chair all day long with all of our blood pooled in our butts. Not at all. It's not good for us. You got to get out there and walk. Mark and I went out for a walk this morning. Gosh, it was cold. And we were out on the berm throwing the ball with the dog, and it was freezing. So we abbreviated our walk, but we at least took it. Didn't quite do the 2 miles, but we took the walk. Move. Because when you do that, you're going to find endorphins flowing. All the good, feel-good hormones are just coursing through you. And I will tell you this is what I truly believe with my whole heart, that movement is gratitude for your body. When you're not moving, you're just not being grateful for what you've got. This is your only, this little bodysuit that you own, it's the only vehicle you have. It's it. You don't get to trade it in like a car. It's it. So get out there and move it. Connect to your body, because connections and consciousness, they go hand in hand. And there's no fear at all associated. Just love, joy, and freedom. That's what it is. Living this high vibe life, it's making a choice that's one step up. Do I want this Big Mac, or do I want these blueberries? Do I want to think these horrible thoughts, or do I want to raise my vibration and think higher thoughts and connect to higher things and live a higher vibe life? That's that's the way you need to figure that part out for yourself. It's all about that. And secondarily, what I know, and I've seen this over and over and over again on repeat, is this is how we manifest our dreams and make them come true. Do you remember when I got this house? Do you remember this was on my vision board, right? Do you remember that? I will also tell you, it was also being a published author, getting an agent, getting a New York Times best-selling book, all of that. Manifestation, higher vibe, putting it out there in the universe and not being afraid of how big my dreams were. Don't you dare be afraid of how big your dreams are. Don't you play small. This is the one life that you get to live. This is the one life that you get to enjoy. Grab it with both hands. And remember, anytime at all, and look at the charts. Tomorrow we'll have them in the newsletter. Look at the charts and choose the stuff that's way up there. You deserve it. Peace be with you. I appreciate you. Thanks so much for showing up today. I will see you tomorrow for Thirsty Thursday. Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining me today. You can find me on TikTok for daily tips to help support your most vibrant life. And remember, you are the author of your own story. Until next time.